This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm going to go ahead and get started now. I was giving everybody a couple minutes to kind of get in at the last minute if people still needed to come in. Can everybody still hear me okay? If you can hear me, type in the box. Okay, perfect. Cool. Okay, my name is Lindsay Ellwanger, and I'm a communications consultant here at the Workforce Board, and I'm going to go ahead and walk you guys through the student data portal and what it is and how to use it. So I just wanted to let you know, first of all, that there's not really anything that you're doing differently than you did last year. So if you're here for new information and you already know how to report your data, you don't need to be here. We are just going to sort of give you a refresher course on how to update or how to report your data. So also, we muted everybody's microphones. So please leave yourself muted. I would hate for anybody else to hear any conversations that you may be having in your office or whatnot. So please make sure you leave yourself muted. If you have a question or you're having any problems, go ahead and type into the chat box. I've got Randy Smith in here with me, who also works on data reporting, and he is managing the chat for me, so somebody will write you back. And I've also got Barbara Mix in here, so who I'm sure if you've reported data before, you've all spoken with her. So with that, I will go ahead and get started. And at the end, I will open it up to everybody for questions. I'll turn everyone's microphones back on. Yep, so here we go. Okay, the student data portal. What is it and how do you use it? Here is a little picture of all of us. We've got a big student data team here to help you guys report your data. There's just a lovely picture of all of us, so you kind of know who you're talking to when you call or email with us. Let's see. Okay, so our data reporting system, it's a secure system, so we want you first of all to know that we keep all of your data safe. It's all encrypted, so when you report records to us, they are all private and safe, and we are not doing anything with them that we're not supposed to be doing. We really tried to design the system with you in mind. I know it's not perfect, and we are constantly trying to take your suggestions to improve it. So I will send out a survey after this webinar to the people who participated in the webinars, and we also send out a survey at the end of each data reporting cycle just to get a feel for how it was for you guys and if there's anything that we can do to make it easier for you. Okay, so our timeline this year is a little different than normal. On May 1st, we sent you guys, or we started sending emails to whoever your CareerBridge registered user is. If you have no idea what that is, it's our separate website that you actually show up on to people looking at the website when you are on our state's eligible training provider list. So we have to make sure that your programs are updated on that site first, because we take all the data from that website and we suck it on over to our student data portal. So we started sending out some email blasts in May, reminding everybody to get their programs updated, and we asked you guys to have them done by June 7th. And then we sent out another email on July 1st, letting you know that the student data portal is open, and we will keep sort of sending intermittent reminder emails as we go through the process. There we had 2 webinars. We had one on June 26th, and this information I'm giving you today is the same as the one that I did then. So don't feel like you missed anything if you missed that webinar. You only need to go to one. So anyway, we had those 2 webinars, and this webinar, after I'm done today I will take it and I will put it up on YouTube and post a link to our website so you guys can go back in and relook at it if you missed anything. The student data portal closes this year on August 28th, so that will be your last day that you will be able to report your student data. Okay, why so early this year? Usually we do data reporting. I think we usually start the Career Bridge update process in like July, August, and then we have you reporting data September, October, sometimes even into November. So the reason it's so early this year is because we have to submit a report to the federal government by October 1st, and we have to use this year's data. So after we collect the data from you guys, we have to be able to crunch it and then use what we find to write this report. So that's why we're asking for it on a different timeline than we usually do. And it looks like this is a report that we're going to have to keep submitting every year. So from here on out, data reporting will be on this same summer cycle instead of the fall cycle. Okay, so what programs do you report on? So each one or each different type of school has different reporting requirements, and they're less for other types of programs because sometimes we get your data from other sources, so we don't need you to report as much. So if you are here and you're a private career school, you are required to report your student data on all of your school's programs to us. And I do know that reporting your student data is part of your private career school license. So if it's time for you to renew your data, if it's time for you to renew your license and you haven't submitted your data yet, you'll get hung up. So make sure you get your data into us. If you're a community and technical college, you have to report to us any non-credit certificate program that you want put on our state's eligible training provider list. If you're a public four-year college, we need any certificate program that you want evaluated and put on the ETP list. If you're a private four-year college, we need all programs that you want on the ETP list. And if you're not one of those types of schools, you're a cosmetology school or an other type of school, you have to report data for anything that you want to put up on our Career Bridge website. Okay, so what students to report? So we want you to report all of your students in those programs that we're asking for. So we need all students that are enrolled in the programs that we're asking for between July 1st, 2018 and June 30th, 2019. So that includes private pay students, and it includes students who are who receive federal funding. The only students within those programs that you don't need to report on are students that are 100% funded by their employers. So say you get a student that was hired who's like a truck driving student for a CDL license, and they've been hired by a company already, and the company is sending them to you to be trained and paying their full tuition. We don't want to know about those students, but those are the only students, so make sure that you report on all of your students. Okay, why does this data make a difference? First of all, we really appreciate you guys taking the time to report your data to us. We use it for a few different things. So we use it for evaluation. We have a publication that we put out every year called Workforce Training Results, and we provide it to legislators and policymakers and anybody who wants it. So it really helps us see how different types of programs are doing, and then we're able to use that information to advise legislators and policymakers on what kind of training and education programs they should support. And then the other thing we use it for is education purposes. So we take, after we get your data and we crunch it all, we actually post it back on our CareerBridge website, and that helps students, parents, teachers, anybody who's looking for a job. They're able to go out to our CareerBridge website and sort of determine what programs are the best fit for them. So we really do use your data, and we really appreciate you guys taking the time to report it to us. So just one last thing before I walk you guys through how the student data portal works is please don't forget about your CareerBridge pages. So if you haven't done that yet, you have to update that before you'll be able to start your student data reporting. So if you log in and you go to your programs page on the student data portal and find out that, you know, you see some programs that you don't have anymore, or you notice that we're missing some programs, we'll actually have to send you back to the CareerBridge website to update it there first. And so it'll really kind of hold you up and slow you down. So we don't want anybody to get down to the last second and then realize that they are now stuck and they have a bunch more work to do than they thought. So please make sure that you get that updated before you start reporting your data. Okay, so that was just a general overview of student data reporting. So what I'm going to do is I am actually going to go onto our website, and I'm going to walk you through how to report your data. Okay, so our website, the first thing I'm going to show you is our state agency website that just has a lot of information that will help you report your data. So that is www.wtb.wa.gov. And just a heads up, I think sometime in August, we're going to be launching a whole new website. So I'm guessing that the link for the student data reporting page is actually going to change. So when that happens, I will make sure I send out an email to everybody letting them know where that new page is. Okay, so as you can see right here under what's new, there's a link right here that says schools, time to report your data. So that's the easiest way to get to the page. It's also over here under private career schools, and then report your student data. So you can click on either of those links, that'll take you to the same page. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so this is our really old, ugly website page about reporting your data. The new one is much more appealing. So I'm hoping that we can get that out soon to you guys so that I don't have to look at this one anymore and you don't either. Okay, so all the information that you need to report your student data is right here on this website. So I'll just kind of go through all the pieces. So right here in this green box, you will find the link to actually log into the student data portal and report your data. So that's where you go for that. In this purple box below it, it has the information about our webinars. You guys all got it, you're here. If you need to go back later and you need to revisit what we talked about today, here's the June 26th webinar, and then after this is over today, I'll put the link for today's webinar right below it. I would recommend, we do have a user guide that will walk you through, but I think it would probably be easier for you guys to just open the link to the recorded webinar, and you can kind of go to the section that you need help with and watch it again through there. So down below that, there's just a bunch of information that I already went over about the reporting period and who to report and what to do. This is a good side note right here that I will talk more about later. But if you have no students to report, whether that's just in a specific program or whether that is, you don't have any students in your entire school for whatever reason, you still need to log into the student data portal and let us know why, so we can just mark that on our end. Okay, so over here in this gray box, there's a bunch of pieces that you need to get started. So if you have never submitted data before, you will have to fill out this required authorization form and then email it back to us. So what that is, I will open it and show you. It's just a piece of paper basically saying that you are authorized to report data for your school. You'll fill out your information here under user information. And then there's another area down here for whoever is authorizing you to report the data on behalf of your school. So you'll need to fill both of those out, and we do need a handwritten signature down here. So make sure you sign that, and then you can just return it to us via email. If you really want to mail it, you can too, but email is the best way to get back to us. So that's what we would prefer. So if you haven't reported data before, you'll have to do this before you are able to report. Ooh, wrong button, sorry. Okay, so back here, so the next link down is a user guide. Like I said, this is a really, really long document. We need to do some work updating it, but I think it would be much more helpful for you to just go back and use this webinar as your user guide instead of looking at the actual user guide. I think it's like 18 pages long. So you can do whatever you want though. So, okay, the next link down is the spreadsheet that you'll use for actually reporting your data. And I will go into this a little bit later, but the spreadsheet goes hand in hand with this piece of information under it about the codes. So there's some categories where this code sheet goes through every single item that we're asking for you to report on your spreadsheet. And a lot of the spaces, you don't type in specifically what you need. So like race, you wouldn't type in the word, you're using one of the numbers to represent the word. So you're gonna wanna make sure that you have this code sheet on hand so you know what to put onto the spreadsheet. And we've actually tried to make the spreadsheet pretty user-friendly by, I'll show you. So the spreadsheet, if it wants to open, there we go. Okay, so we try to make the spreadsheet pretty user-friendly. Each box will tell you in a little yellow box what exactly we're looking for you to put in the box. And when you go further over in this direction, the things that have a drop-down menu actually have a little drop-down that you can click on right here and just select the number from the list. So hopefully that will make it a little bit easier to figure out which numbers go with what. Please make sure when you download this that you save it on your computer somewhere. We've had some instances where people have called and they had it all done and they uploaded it, but it didn't work. And so they went back in to fix their errors and they had not saved it on their computer and it was completely gone and they had to redo the entire spreadsheet. So we don't want that to happen to you guys. So make sure that you go ahead and do a file save as and save it on your computer somewhere. That would be really a big bummer. Okay. So those are all the links on there. We have our email address right here. We just wanted you to know we're trying to be super responsive. So if you need help, don't feel like you're going to email data reporting and we're never going to write you back. We're checking the email box several times a day. So if you need to get a hold of us, that's a great way to do so. And also our phone number is listed, I think, on the data reporting website as well as under contact us, and I believe on all of these forms. So if you call, just ask for somebody to help you report your student data, and we'll get you transferred to somebody who can help you do that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go into the actual student data portal now. So it's this link right here in the green box. So I'm going to click on it, and it's going to have me log in. So a couple of things. So if you don't know if you have an account or not, there's not really a way to find out from this website, and you'll just have to either email us and give us a call, and we can log into the system on our end and see if you have an account or not. So if you're not sure, give us a call or send us an email, and we can look you up and help you figure it out. If you forgot your password, we don't keep track of your passwords. So you will need to go ahead and click on the Forgot Your Password link and type in your email and hit Reset Password, and it will actually send you an email that will just allow you, I think, to click on a link, and it'll take you in and help you reset your password. One quick note about that. If you do this, after you hit Reset Password, please give it a few minutes. Sometimes if the student data portal is really busy, or there's a lot of people, doing stuff on our computers at work, it gets kind of bogged down, and it'll take a couple minutes to send you a password. If you hit Reset Your Password too many times in a row, it will tell you that your account is locked, and then you won't be able to reset your password. You'll have to call us, and we'll have to unlock your account for you. And if for some reason, I know occasionally people reset their password, and for some reason they can't get their like temporary passwords to work that they're given. So if that happens to you, go ahead and give us a call, and we can help you set a password from our end. So hopefully you should not have any problems being able to get in. Okay, so I'm gonna go back because I wrote down my password so I know what it is. Okay, oops, I can't type, but I do know my password. We'll get there. Okay, so I'm gonna enter my username and password, and I'm gonna log in. Okay, so when you log into your the student data portal, you should see the name of your school right here. And yeah, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna follow these steps that we've laid out for you, and hopefully it'll help you report your data. One thing you're gonna wanna check is there's another tab up top called Training Provider. If you click on that, that has all the information for your school on it. So if you click on that and you see something that's wrong, please let us know so that we can fix it for you, because you won't be able to edit any of this information. We've got your locations, programs, and then it'll tell you who the contacts are for your school and who's able to register data. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to data report. Okay, so there's just a couple of things that we want you to check out before you start actually reporting your data. This step one is view your programs. So you can get to your programs page from here or also from this link over on the side. So we want you to go view your programs. So these programs are, let's see. So these programs are the programs that I am expected to report on for this year. So if you have programs that you see on here that you're not offering anymore, or you've got some programs that are missing, please go ahead and let us know, and we will help you get it all sorted out. But that's why we have you go back in and check to make sure that everything is correct. So I'm going to go back to data reporting steps. Okay, and then the second thing you want to do is view your continuing students. So I don't have any for this year. I'm actually going to pretend like I'm reporting data for last year. Okay, so imagine this said 2018-19. So it'll show you, these are the students that you entered in the past year that you, on your spreadsheet, marked that they were still continuing in your program. So we want to find out what happened to these students. So the easiest way to start from here, if you haven't actually entered or done anything with any of your students yet, is to hit export. You can actually export a sheet with this year's spreadsheet, and you can start reporting from there. Just one note I forgot to make about the spreadsheet earlier. Every year I change the color on the top, and I have to change some different features of the portal and how the spreadsheet works. So if you are trying to report your data this year with anything other than a blue spreadsheet, it's probably not going to work for you. I think last year was orange or purple. It's been a few different colors, but this is this year's color, so make sure that you're using this one to put your data into. Okay, so you're going to check out your continuing students. If you have already had if you maybe already had a spreadsheet that you were entering students on, just make sure that you hit export and that you copy those rows of students and paste them onto your new spreadsheet. You want to make sure you don't miss them. Okay, I'm going to go back to data reporting steps. So step 3 is, once again, it's just that user guide. Like I said, it's 17 pages long, but it does have screenshots. It does have answers to some frequently asked questions. So it will help you report. I just think it's easier to use the video. So whatever way is better for you guys, feel free to do so. Okay, so once you've checked all that out, we are going to go ahead and hit start your report. Okay, so once again at the top, it'll tell you what year, or sorry, not what year, what dates we want you to report your students from, and then the due date. So there's a couple of different ways that you can report your data. I'm going to talk about this student entry form first. So if you literally only have maybe 1 or 2 students, this would be a good one to use. If you have any more than that, I think that this spreadsheet is much, much easier to use. So because this one, if you wanted to report it this way, you hit add student, and then you have to enter all of this information about each individual student. Whereas on the spreadsheet, say you have 50 students in Olympia, you can just hit the corner of your box in Excel and drag it down, and it'll duplicate Olympia a bunch of times. So like I said, I would only use this if you only have a couple students. And then once you've entered all your information, you're going to hit either save and add another, or you can hit save, and that will get those students put in there. So I'm going to go back to the student data page because, like I said, I wouldn't recommend this unless you only have a couple of students. Oops, sorry, I'm going back to the start your report page. Okay, so if you got this far and you haven't downloaded the template yet, you can go ahead and do that in here. So you can click this and download the template. So after you enter all of your students into the template, you're going to hit upload Excel file. Oh, I'm going to mention one other thing about this template. So there are some schools, I got asked this question in the last webinar, which was, do you want all your students reported on the same spreadsheet? So it depends on how many accounts you have for for the student data portal. There's some schools have separate accounts for their individual locations. I would say most of you have everything under one account, even if you have different locations. But if you are one of those schools that have, whatever, 3 different CareerBridge accounts for your 3 separate locations, and you have 3 different student data, accounts, you're going to have to report your data on those 3 separate spreadsheets. But otherwise, I think that's only a few schools. I don't think that's a very common thing, but I just wanted to throw that out there. So I would say most people, even if you have separate locations, unless you have multiple accounts, you're going to report everything on one spreadsheet. Okay, so you're going to go through here and you just follow the directions in each column all the way across for all of your students. And once you're done, make sure you save it. And then we are going to go to upload Excel file. Okay. Oh. She pointed out something good. I actually just realized that I think that my spreadsheet has data from the wrong year in it because I had to do the other webinar before the portal actually opened. So let's see what happens here. Okay. Da, 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 da. Okay, so I'm going to upload data, and it tells me some invalid data was found in the Excel spreadsheet. You'll need to fix the errors in the file and upload again. Lucky for you, it shows you a list right here of the errors. So we are going to click here and go to View All Report Errors. Okay, so it's telling me right here that on row 2, 4, and 5, there's something wrong with the location, program, and award type column. So back on your programs page, it shows right here, it shows your location, program name, and award type. If you have even the slightest thing wrong with it, it's not going to work. So here's a good example. I think I know what my error is. So a lot of times people mess up, you know, they put the wrong program with the wrong location. A lot of times what happens is people have the word certificate listed here on award type, and then they'll go into their spreadsheet and put certificate of completion. So that is not going to work. So make sure that you're matching exactly what is on your programs page. It won't upload with any spelling errors or just basically anything that's even slightly off. It won't work. So I see here I spelled something wrong, and that's why it's off. Here I put certificate of completion where my program award type page says certificate. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to fix all those errors. Then I am going to go back to start my report, and I'm going to try to upload the new version that I saved. Okay, so after you upload it and you don't have any errors, you'll get this message that says congratulations and that it uploaded your records. So after you do this, you have one more step before you are completely done. So you're going to go to this certify and submit page, and it's here on the bottom, and it's also right here. So if you have any any programs that don't have any students, it will show up right here. So this program of mine has no students, and there's a reason that's required. So you're going to hit this little pencil, and you're going to edit the reason. So I didn't offer training this time. So I'm just going to mark that and hit save. One thing I'm going to go back that I forgot to mention. In the start your report area, step 5 is if you don't have any students at all in your entire school, we need to select a reason for that. It's not letting me select that. because I have programs listed on my programs page, so it knows that I have students this year. So, but if you don't have any students at all, that is why, or that won't be grayed out. You'll be able to pick that. One note that somebody just pointed out is the due date on here says August 29th. Not sure why, it should say August 28th. So sorry about that, we'll get that fixed. It must have just got inputted wrong. So it is August 28th. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the certify and submit page. And it's showing me that program that I fixed. I put in why I don't have any students, and then it will show you all the programs you uploaded students for right here, and they all should say past edits. If there's problems with it, it will tell you that there's problems, and you can click back on this view all report errors, and you can look at your different errors and be able to fix them before you submit it. Okay, so once you're all done, and this, people get stuck right here a lot. They go this far and then they think that they're done and they sign out. So make sure that you finish this very last step. So you're going to check this little box that says, I certify this report is correct. And then you're gonna hit submit report. And then when you're done, it will tell you right here, congratulations, your student data report has been successfully submitted. So once you get that message, you're good to go and you're all done. We're sending out reminders periodically through this process, and we'll start going through and pulling off the people that have already submitted their report for the next time that we send the email out. So if you have submitted your data and you got an email reminding you to submit your data, please check back in with us. Sometimes we just miss pulling people off the email list, but sometimes you think that you reported, but you maybe got stuck and didn't complete this very last step, and your data is actually still a draft and hasn't been submitted to us. So yeah, so if you get one of those emails reminding you to report and you think you've already reported, make sure you get a hold of us and we can check it out for you. So that, I mean, that is basically a run through of how to report your data. I'm gonna open it up for questions. If you have a question, why don't you go ahead and type it. I'll give everybody a minute to type. I'm not sure if I should unmute everybody. I don't want everybody to start yelling at the same time. So I'll wait for a minute. If you have any questions about your specific school, or any questions about your program specifically, or any strange scenarios that you're not sure how to report, don't ask us here, send us an email or give us a call, and we are happy to help you. Okay, okay, so we've got a question. I wanted to confirm that we need to report students that signed up but did not attend for whatever reason.
Not unless they paid for it. Yeah, if they didn't attend at all, then they really didn't start.
So if they signed up but they didn't pay for it and they never ever showed up, then we don't want you to report. But if they signed up and they did pay for it and then they never showed up,
they're still continuing. I mean,
right.
Presumably. So.
Right. So that you can gauge that off if they actually paid for it or not. But if they just said they were going to come, didn't pay for it, and didn't come, then we don't need to know about them. Okay, are there any other questions?
Yeah, there's one above it.
Hold on, there's one above it. Okay, if they are in the L&I program, do we still report them? The answer to that is yes. So we want any students that are self-pay, and then we want any students also that are paid for through L&I, through any kind of training benefits, just any way that they're paid for, other than if their employer has 100% paid for them, or if they get a scholarship from the school, right?
And
If your school, this has never actually happened to us, so I never actually mention it, but if your school has 100% given somebody a scholarship and that person is not paying for anything, you are paying for it, we don't want to know about them either. But like I said, that's never actually happened. So yeah, anybody in L&I programs, we do want you to report them. Okay, is that all the questions we have? Okay, cool. Well, like I said, to confirm, full scholarships we do not report. So we don't want you to report if your school is fully paying for them. So if your particular school has given them a scholarship, we don't want them.
Yeah, and we do want students who have dropped out. So you would put them as incomplete and then the dropout date.
There's a, let me show you this. So over here on the spreadsheet, one of these columns, program enrollment status. Of course, my drop-down button is not working now. Hold on, let me grab a spreadsheet. I had messed with mine a bunch, so of course now it's not working. Okay, so this program enrollment status column all the way over here, this is where you'll report what happened to your students. So if they dropped out of your program, we want you to mark 2, that they withdrew or terminated from the program. Okay, we've got another question. How about students? Hold on. Okay, hold on just a second. I'm trying to get to all your questions. Okay, how about students for WorkSource or people to people? So yes on both of those. So we want the students from WorkSource and we want the students that are paid for by people to people. Or people for people, sorry. Okay, so if they sign up for a course, most of ours are a week or so at a time, and then they cancel and we refund them, do we report them?
Yeah, I don't think you would, just because they never showed up, they didn't drop, and you refunded it. So it's basically they weren't enrolled. So, but if they show up for a day and then drop it, then yes, you report them as incomplete.
Okay, yep. So if they never came and you gave them their money back, then we don't need to know about them. Okay, I'm keeping going down the list.
So higher ed reporting, basically that works the same way as private vocational, except that there's alternate ways that we could get the same data. We could get it through either SBCTC or the Teachies program, where you basically are reporting the same sort of data, individual level student data. And if we could get it through those systems, then we do. But so that explains why we've got these limitations about, certificates. And that's because we don't get those through those systems. But anything we do get through those systems, then you don't need to report twice.
Right. So you can look up here. Those are the programs that we need you to report to us, and we didn't list it on there if we get the data from somewhere else. So I think you guys actually report your data to those different places, and then we get your data from them. So.
And I should point out that is per program. So if you see a program listed on the student data portal that you don't think should be there, then you need to contact us. Or if there's a program that you think you should report, but it's not there, then go ahead and contact us.
Okay, let's get to the next question. Since Goodwill uses its retail profits to provide scholarships for all of its programs, does that mean that we don't have to report, except for those students who are paid via a third party, such as DSHS?
No, I don't think we do, because it is a scholarship.
Right, that's considered a scholarship. We just want the ones that are coming from DDR, DSHS, whatever. But if Goodwill is basically paying, then we don't want you to report them.
Okay, so you got that. If you are Goodwill and you are paying for all of your students to go through your program, then you don't need to report it to us.
However, we will need you to log into the system and do the no student number 5, and then just explain that you paid for everything.
It looks like, I'm guessing that Jamie maybe has some students that,
Yes.
so if you have some students that are paid via you and some students that are paid via a third party, we want you to report the students that come from the third party. Cool. Okay, does anybody else have any more questions? All right, well, feel free to get a hold of us at any point in time. Like I said, we're very responsive to email. And unlike a lot of other places, there is somebody sitting at the front desk answering the phone. Oh, one more question. Okay, just to make sure, if the student has a scholarship that is paying for half of the tuition, do we still report that?
Yes.
Yes. So only don't report if the student is paying $0 and you are paying for the entire thing. Okay, yep, we have live humans standing by to help you, so feel free to reach out to us anytime you guys need help, and we are looking forward to crunching your data after August 28th. Have a great day.